Good day, class. I am Eljimi Ibanez, a third year BS Ed English. Now, imagine if our schools never change, still using the same lessons, the same methods, and the same books from 20 years ago. Do you think students today would be prepared for the fast-paced digital world we live in? Of course not. That is why in education, change is not just important, it is necessary.
But before we begin our discussion for today, let me introduce to you our learning objectives. This is our learning objective.
Today, we will explore curriculum implementation or implementing the design curriculum as a change process. The process of turning written plans into real learning experiences and how it connects to curriculum change, which keep education relevant and meaningful. Together, we'll see how teachers like us become the bridge between what is planned on paper and what is learned in the classroom. Are you ready to learn? Now, let's begin with the meaning of curriculum implementation. When we say implementation, we are referring to an actual practice of the written curriculum found in the syllabus, course guides, and subject outlines. It is not just about documents, it is about bringing them to life inside the classroom. Implementation is the stage where learners acquire the intended knowledge, skills, and attitudes designed to help them function effectively in society. Ornstein and Hankins describe it as the interaction between the written curriculum and the teacher who delivers it. In other words, the teacher is the bridge between what is planned and what is learned. Lax and Lieberman also emphasize that implementation is a process of trying out a new practice and seeing how it looks in the real school setting. That means curriculum and implementation or curriculum implementation should always bring desired change and improvement. Now, let's connect this with the concept of change. Change is a constant law of nature. It is continuous, unavoidable, and essential for growth. Not all changes lead to improvement, but all improvement requires change. For schools and teachers, this means we must be willing to test, develop, and implement changes if we want continuous improvement in education. Now, what are the features of change? First, it is a process, not an event. Change takes time. And second, it requires energy and resources. Teachers, administrators, and even students invest effort to make it happen. And lastly, change is achieved incrementally. It is not an overnight transformation. It involves gradual development in skills, knowledge, and even attitudes. Let's now move to the process of curriculum change. Change in curriculum does not happen automatically. It needs support, resources, and acceptance from the school community. Teachers, administrators, and even parents play a part in making sure that changes are implemented effectively. McNeil in 1990 categorized curriculum change into 5 types. First, substitution. It is replacing the old curriculum with a new one. For example, replacing outdated textbooks with the new ones. Second, alteration. It is making small modifications in the existing curriculum. Now, for instance, updating teaching materials. For instance, updating teaching materials like using grafting software instead of manual grafting paper. Next, restructuring. This involves major changes in the school system or educational programs. A good example is the K-12 curriculum, which required alignment between elementary and secondary levels. Perturbations. These are disruptive changes, often unplanned, that teacher must adjust to. For example, a sudden change in the schedule because of national testing. Teachers have to adapt quickly without losing learning outcomes. Lastly, value orientation. It is changes in emphasis based on the mission and vision of the school. For instance, a school with strong religious values must ensure that teachers do not only focus on academics but also integrate moral and spiritual formation. Now, what makes the process of change successful? There are three important elements. First, developmental. Change should encourage multiple perspectives, foster openness and trust, and highlight the strengths of teachers. It should not only be about rules, but also about growth. Next is participatory. Change is more effective when it involves everyone. Teachers, school leaders, parents, and even students should take part in the process. This creates a learning community that supports curriculum implementation. Next, and the last, supportive. For change to succeed, resources like materials, classrooms, and equipment must be available. Teachers also need time to adapt, train, and practice. Research suggests that it usually takes about 3 to 5 years for an innovation to be fully institutionalized in schools. Now, to better understand curriculum change, let us connect this with the Kurt-Lewin's force field theory. Take a look at this diagram. What do you see here? Now, there are driving forces which push for change, such as innovation, technology, or new teaching strategies. For successful curriculum implementation, the driving forces must be stronger than the resisting forces. To conclude, curriculum implementation is not simply about following a syllabus. It's also about transforming written plans into lived experiences in the classroom. For it to be successful, it requires change, a process that is gradual, participatory, and well-supported. Teachers are at the center of this process, acting as facilitators of improvement and agents of change. So as future educators, let us remember, implementing curriculum is not about teaching content, but about continuously adapting, improving, and shaping learners to thrive in society. Thank you, everyone, and that ends our discussion. Thank you.